So if you are a startup or you are just thinking of starting up, then there would be three challenges which you would face, right? The first is, how would you validate your idea? There, would, there must be multiple ideas in your mind, but which would actually work for you? Which would be that great idea which your customers would accept and they would go for it, right? Second challenge which most of the startups face, that is, they fail in execution, right? They have a lot of challenges during execution. And the third and most important is financial management, right? So now, how you can overcome all these challenges? We have a special guest in today's business talk with us. He is Gowtham Began. He's the founder of a company called TaxKriya. So Gautam is basically, helping a lot of startups. He's providing mentorship to them, right? And he's providing all kind of support to them. So I got them to really appreciate that you have taken out your time, and because you are doing it in the domain, the startup world. Yeah. So we would like to know a lot of things from you, because nowadays people are, going for starting up their new ventures, and a lot of startups are opening. But at the same time, there are very few which are actually taking it to the next level, right? So we'll understand that how actually startups should operate, which are the, core things which they should take care of. So first of all, before we come on to the main topic, we would like to know a little bit about you, that, how did you decide to go for this startup support program? And can you just tell us something about TaxKriya?
Definitely. Thanks for the introduction. So yes, it was really a great pleasure for me to get into the session. So I would like to share my experience and more insights about the startups and the startups solutions and everything, what we do basically. And as discussed with you, yes, the startups, there are more people in and around throughout the global, and in particularly in India, since like India is one of the third largest having a startup ecosystem. The people who do business and who wants to start business, it's quite huge. But ultimately, the 90% of the startups, they're not able to succeed. So
That's why I remember.
yes. So that is where, we feel our contribution should be in a very focused way. So we call it as like, we built a brand, TaxKriya, post-COVID. Before that, we were just doing, we were trying to, do management consulting activities and for the all small, medium businesses. Okay, but moving forward, we were delighted to know about the number of startups that got incorporated post-COVID. Because everyone felt like they want some change of job, or they felt, they felt more insecure about their career. So that was the point, that was the boiling point, where most of the younger generation, and even in the mid 40s, 50s, they wanted to, start their career, to re-begin their career being an entrepreneur. So that was a kind of phase where everyone were able to, there was a spike even in the company registration and all kind of activities. And we felt like, that should be our area in order to build an ecosystem. And TaxKriya, our motto will be like architecting the startup space. Basically, we wanted to, nurture all the startups. We wanted to, help the startups from the beginning. So right from the guiding them on what type of business entity they wanted to choose, and what would be their vision and goals, objectives. So we will be able to, help them from the scratch till building the potential business model and throughout the end business and activity. So that is what we have been focusing, and that is the reason we wanted to, foresee our vision on contributing more to the startup space. We wanted, we have a vision of, reducing the failure percentage of the startups. So that's what the core mindset of TaxKriya. And of course, being in the space, we have already, the kind of services that we do is we guide startups from the start. We mentor them. We help them on what type of business activity or what type of business structure they wanted to build in. And also, we try to frame the business development of their models.
Okay. So you say in a complete strategy, then you support them for execution also, and you provide continuous guidance.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome, Gautam. So Gautam, here are a few questions for you, right? Because see, nowadays startup is trending, right? So is it because that it's in trend, everybody wants to start up? Or is there any other reason why people are, getting more attracted towards starting some new venture?
It's true. So you got into the point right away. Definitely there is a kind of a urge for more number of people who are in employment and also who are, on their mid 40s and 50s. They wanted to do something. The one reason is they got bored out of their, monotonous job activities, and also the kind of the motivation, the drive that they are missing in their employment, because every day they have to get to the work. They have to, escalate to their managers, and they have to get things done. They feel it is monotonous, and the kind of reward psychologically they are not able to get satisfied with. So that was the reason. And also, more number of information. So even if you can see, as I already mentioned, 2021 and 22 was, there was a huge spike in companies incorporation and as well as fundraising, basically. Okay. So that really created a urge for more number of startups to, to start their business, because till now, there are almost 27 unicorns in India.
Okay.
And, almost, I think $20 billion investments has been raised for Indian startups.
Oh,
being a third largest startup environment, the India has been created. It really, it fascinates more number of people. So the kind of the drive, the kind of the motion, that really drives them. That actually, that is good, but it has to be very much consistent. Because till now, with my experience, I'll try to explain you in a better way. So, till now, I think we would have helped around 3,000 plus startups, and we would have reached around to 10,000 plus startups. So every time when we try to talk with them, when the problem is they'll come to us. I mean, they want to build they want to make money. They want some funding. They need some sort of branding business model with an idea stage. So there will be an idea stage, but they want a very quick result. Okay, that is where people come to us, and they want us to mentor them. They want us to take it to the next level till investment. But ideally, when we try to talk with them regarding the kind of mindset that they wanted to have, the kind of struggles, the hardships that is about to come, and how to tackle it. When we are able to discuss, on the periodically, they tend to lose out some sort of passion towards what they have already built.
Yes, exactly. So
when
there
is a reality,
right? So see, that's what I'm asking you, Gautham, because see what I've seen that nowadays, you remember that time when everybody wanted to do MBA, then everybody was doing MBA because their friends have done MBA, so they'll go for an MBA program. Somebody was, they wanted to do engineering because their friends have done engineering. So I think nowadays, people are going to start their businesses just because it's in trend, it's in passion, and they feel proud, when they say that this is my startup. Whether they don't know that how it would operate, what challenges they would actually face, or are they really passionate about it? Do they really have some purpose behind it? Without any idea, people are starting up because they find that it's very glamorous thing, and when they see a lot of TV shows like Shark Tank and all, it further gives them more motivation. And they also have some misconception that startup is a kind of a quick money thing, as you just mentioned, right away, that, they think that they'll make huge money immediately. They, create an idea and they'll get venture funding and they'll have a lot of money on together. So, but it doesn't really happen, right? So, people also don't have clarity about what is a startup and what is a traditional business. Can you just throw some light on that what actually is startup and how is it different from a traditional business? Because see, when somebody is doing a business, the young generation especially, right? And when they start some new venture, they always say that I'm a startup. Okay. So technically, can you just explain that what is the difference between a startup and a traditional business?
Definitely. Traditional business is something like, that is being done for ages. That was being, carried out from our ancestors back then from, so many thousands of years. If you could see the barter exchange, and that is how people, they have built some businesses. So currently, if you can see like our fathers or grandfathers, they would have already built some sort of shop, some sort of workshops, and some idea that will be moving on a traditional business model. But where the startup gets differentiated here is in the innovation. See, business is something like you can just open a grocery store, or you can just open a hardware store. Just you can try to when the shop has been opened or office has been opened, you try to do the business normally, just like how you market and everything. But startup is something like a kind of innovation in idea with the help of technology. So that is where startups get differentiated. So any business that is about to be started with a better innovation in the business model with the help of technological infrastructure, that would define the startup term, in a very
unique way. Like it should be solving a problem in a unique way. And yes, when it's solving that problem, and it should have a process and a structure to solve that problem.
Exactly.
Right? It should not be a generic kind of thing.
Definitely. Most important, the technological infrastructure is the base for all the business to call themselves as a startup.
The technological backup is required, and so that's
at least a vision. See, you might have some. See, if you can see, Zepto or even Zomato or Swiggy, it looks like it is just what the dabbawalas were been doing back then. They carry the product from this to the location to that location.
Right.
When the business model has been reintroduced with a vision to get an innovative solution with the help of technology, by connecting it through application or website or portal or through the end consumers, that brings an idea of a startup. So that is why it gets differentiated from the business, the traditional
normal business. That's really great. Parameter which everybody should consider. And that is the reason I think that most of the businesses, they, struggle at the ideation stage only. They're not able to, execute the idea because they don't have any innovation. Right. So do you also help them, optimizing their idea or making it better?
Whenever any startups come to us in the idea stage, we'll try to say, of course, each and everyone, like some people have a very great passion about the industry. Say, for an example, we try to reach to, basically we try to reach to more students. That is where the young entrepreneurs are being created. That is where the place. So we reach out to more colleges, universities. So when we are able to discuss with them, most of their products will be in idea stage. Say, for an example, if agri-tech business, they are very passionate about, because that is what they have been studying for the last 3 to 4 years. and they wanted to do some research out of it, and they wanted to build a business model. When they try to do, they have a very great passion about the industry, but what they lack there is they are unable to identify whether there is a market or not. See, if some sort of innovation in agriculture has to be done, if they feel like they can do with the current technology and their current idea something using drones, they have to see whether really the agricultural in agriculture field, the farmers or any people associated with it are able to welcome the particular product. The kind of survey is required. The kind of deep research is required. Until then, your product is like just it's a kind of innovative product. Like there can be lakhs and crores of business ideas anyone can bring, but ultimately it should be marketable.
Should be marketable, and when we talk about the scalability, then of course, if there is a demand for it only, then it can be scaled up, right?
In this particular conversation, I would like to pass on some insight about the demand, the opportunity here. See, most of the startup founders and most of the business, they do think, if someone else, if there is in that particular market they wanted to bring, if there is already a giant being, run in that particular area, they feel like, they have a fear that they will not be able to penetrate their market.
Okay.
But what we generally tell them is, see, when there is a huge giant that they're already doing it on that particular industry, then definitely it seems like there is a great market potential for anyone to do. If they are able to bring some 95% or 85%, definitely other people can have at least 2% of the share of the total entire market share. That could be a significant change of any kind of product. So when there is definitely a competitor outreach, a vast number of competitors in that particular area, then definitely I would say opportunities are more than the usual thing that happens. So it is not really okay to get afraid of something else when they see the opportunities are less when there are huge giants operating that particular area.
That's also a good way of validating your idea if the market is already existing or not, right? But if they will have to do some innovation, if some bigger giant is already playing in the market, or they can differentiate.
Yes. So that is a unique solution.
Okay. Right. But don't you think that the big giants, they have huge money and capacity to do a lot of innovation? So the small players or the initial startup, they're not survive in that particular sector or segment because they have the challenge of funds.
Be there. But most importantly, the current modern day investors, what they see is the marketable area.
Okay.
So when there is when the giant is able to do this, of course, if you bring in a unique solution where they're not able to tap into that particular area or some sort of slight modification that can bring into a better presentation, the idea gets validated. And when they reach out to investors, even the investors, most of the investors will feel, this can be developed in a better way to get competed with them. So even the large giants, they would have started from the scratch, basically, right? So that is where the kind of differentiation that is required. And most of the startups that we try to encounter, what they feel is the definition of success. They think, the majority thinks the success of a business is getting an investment. That is actually not the truth, I would say, because getting investment is not the ultimate success of any startup. It has the main startup, because like any kind of ideation stage, when the business model gets validated, if it brings a unique solution, and if it is able to attract investors, and investors will be based on the market hype and the product differentiation, they'll be able to do. But once they get the investment, they should be in a position to go on a growth model, basically. That is where almost if you could see the recent startups who got $1 billion valuation, they are not able to, grow after a certain point of time. They are able to report loss. Of course, on a long-term vision, that is fine completely. But most of the startups, like they are struggling to, bring more market, bring more customers, even though they got some huge investment. So the vision that the startup founders should be having in their mind for a successful startup is building their brand. Brand building is very, very important rather than, making profits. Of course, at the end of the day, everyone is running business for profit. That is ultimately the end goal. But, on a longer vision, see, because the founders can be there or not. The operation team might be able to foresee in the future or not. But the brand should be there. The idea, which has been differentiated. That is how, people like Facebook, Amazon, even the co-founders were not able to get involved. No, still they are able to do business, and they have been into the large competitor who control the major startup space in the world. Sure. So that is where the differentiation feels. So that's
the that comes from the brand.
Exactly. So that's making the brand successful.
Yes, and the definition of successful, they should not have this thing in mind that if they not get the, funding, they're not successful, right? But what if they don't actually get this? Because not all startups get the funding, right? So they have to, go for the bootstrap approach, or how they would expand.
Actually, any startup definitely to reach out to a better place, they have to do bootstrapping. And there is one of a kind saying from the famous entrepreneurs. What they say is, if your business model is unique, and if there is a good market potential for your business, you need not go search for the investment. Investment will reach out to you.
Investment will reach out to you.
Definitely.
Yeah, in fact, your customer can become your investors, because if your product is great, your idea is great, and you're solving actually a customer problem, customers will start buying your products and services, and then, bring in that kind of investment to scale up. Yeah, that's right.
Also, like, apart from that, nowadays, like, there are more number of alternatives for the funding. There are not only equity funding will be favorable for any startup, even debt fundings are there. Some kind of government grants are there, private grants are there. Like, there are some sort of investment where recurring. I mean, they do provide investment based on your recurring revenue. So even that is there. Both a hybrid model of combining equity and debt investment. So there are a large number of options open now for alternate finance structure. So even the startup should consider that. So making it on an equity way is not the only solution. Of course, during the process, I have seen, we have experienced more number of startups who have taken a debt funding initially, and who have acquired government grants initially, and reached out to a phase of getting an equity investment. So only when they're, but the kind of the growth and the kind of result that they make, that definitely automatically takes them through the investment that they are requiring for. So, it's something like, someone will say, like, the business will know what it really requires. It will automatically, drive it itself to a successful strategy when it has been surrounded by good environment, good founders with the technical knowledge, with the right marketing strategy, and with a better business model.
Right. So, Gowtham, when you are interacting with various students, youngsters, and all, so how do you think that, to what level they are aware about the government schemes or the support given by the government? Does this really need some more awareness, or they already know?
Yes, to be very honest, the very few people have knowledge and awareness about the government schemes and incentives. So that is really to be because as of now, if you can see, almost 1.5 lakh companies, almost 1.5 to 2 lakh companies get registered every year on an average. Okay, that actually includes only private limited and one person company. I'm not talking about the partnership firm or proprietor.
Right.
Even there are startups who have been started from proprietor or a partnership mode, but I'm talking about the statistics of the private sector and one person company. And suddenly, like, no, it's almost only 1 lakh startups got registered in Startup India scheme. So if you could see 1.5 lakh getting registered every year, the Startup India scheme was introduced on 2016, I guess. Okay. So even though, like, it's almost no more than 7 or 8 years. So even then, at least, like, if we can take some 10 to 20%, the number should be high. But till now, at least only 180,000 or 1 lakh was the registered startups in Startup India program.
Okay, so there is a need to highlight these incentives and government schemes.
Definitely.
Okay.
And also almost 15,000 crores has been injected by the government, I would say.
Okay.
By the SIDBI scheme. And also the Startup India seed funding scheme. I think almost 845 or 900 crores has been installed by the government. And like, these funds will be distributed through various institutions. Okay. So they will try to find out the startups. That is where the incubators and other people play a key role on this. So there is a huge gap. What I'm trying to say is there is a huge gap on, if everyone is able to, start a business, very few are able to get into the entry point of getting into the government programs. See, if you are a startup, registered startup in the Startup India program, you will get more access to, any kind of incentives or grants and other systems. See, you should be aware. So that is a problem. And also when we are been closely working out things with the young entrepreneurs in universities, of course, like, they are more focused, they are very, technically strong, and they know about the structure, but about the market demand and the compliance regulatory things, they really need a kind of, awareness.
When should they get registered for these, schemes and all? At the ideation stage, or at MVP stage, or at some later stage?
Definitely, in this case, I would say after validating the idea.
Okay.
After validating, if it has been properly validated, and the only thing that they are looking forward is taking an action.
Mm-hmm.
So if that is the stage, they can definitely go ahead with the registration. Until then, they have to, reset their abilities, the research process, everything has to be, worked out till they try to find their business model is good. And I won't call the business model should be very fascinating. I would term it as pretty good. Like, it should be an average or, above average. That is fine, totally fine. But that model should be having a better market demand. That is very important. So if they are able to, equate this, and also if they are able to attract some minimal customers, see, at least a family or a friend, or if you are able to reach out to some people, because nowadays marketing strategies are, quite, simple. With opening an Instagram page, but of course, like, you need to be more, you need to have more knowledge in how to handle all those marketing strategies. But the young entrepreneurs, young people are able to do with the concept of building a brand, with the kind of influencers team that everyone has. When they are able to market, like, at least if the product is being liked by at least 5 or 10 members, that is a stage that, that is a product validation, I would call. At that point of time, they can definitely go ahead with next set of activities on getting to know about the schemes and what type of registration and funding alternatives are to be looked on. Because from the scratch, definitely it will not happen overnight. They have to be very patient, and consistently the efforts has to be pulled in.
So what are the steps you would suggest startups to validate their ideas? Like, one great idea you gave is that they should see that if that business model is already working, in the industry. That is one way of doing it. What are the other ways?
Reaching to the ground level people by conducting research, survey report. I think, like, recently we had like found out some sort of startup where they wanted to, put an alternative to the keyboard that people use. The kind of keyboard that is being operated now for the laptops and PCs, they want to be more energy efficient and as well as a kind of sleeky, very simple model that they wanted to bring. But before taking this particular idea into next stage, they have to see whether people really like. It doesn't mean they have to buy it for sure. Not that way. They can reach out to more number of people who are the users of the keyboard. So only the users of the keyboard might be the gaming people or IT professionals or any kind of office persons who has a regular at the niche, the kind of area that they wanted to choose. They need to make a kind of an pre-interview session, survey reports, and even there are things that is readily available in online also. Sometimes when you are able to you have to follow a pattern. You have to get a data. So the data speaks, and the pattern has to be analyzed, and based on that pattern, we have to see how things will shaped up in the future on presenting this particular business model. So that is
and when you are doing this kind of research to validate your idea, so you should also not restrict to one region geographically, right?
Definitely.
They should collect data or input from various regions. Rather, if possible, that globally, maybe online some surveys can be conducted.
Exactly. See, one of the product might be less useful in India.
Yeah,
but it can be used in vastly. It can be used in United States.
Obviously.
So I know the kind of
about scalability, then you can't restrict to one region.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that because the kind of buying power is very much less when compared to United States.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, in United States, people do get fascinated by any kind of unique product or service that you would like to bring it on. Compared to India, see, of course, Indian startups definitely they need to go through a regular research and study, but it should not be confined to, as you said, it should not be confined to one particular region or geographical location. It has to be expanded, and wherever they feel it is a right place or right way to do things, they have to get it done.
Right. So, but when they are doing some market research or survey online, so they have a fear that my idea will be stolen, right? It can be copied. So, how do you take this challenge when people have this kind of mindset?
Definitely, that is there. So for them, what we try to suggest is, before that, they have to check whether this particular business model has not been brought in anywhere, at least in India. Because if they are going to target in India or in whichever particular country, they are going to target in UK, they have to check at least both the countries or even US sometimes. So when they are able to evaluate whether this business model is quite unique, and so probably there could be some similarities somewhere else. We cannot avoid that. But what kind of solution that they're trying to bring in, that is very important. And if they're very serious about doing this, we generally recommend them to take a patent, a copy patent, and a patent, both, yes, depending on the innovation in the idea.
But, the patent, they would go only when the idea is validated, right? Before that, it would be difficult for them, right?
Yes. That is why validation is very important, and they have to check on the market opportunities. And definitely, if they are very confident about doing it, process should be carried out, I would say.
Okay, so do you help them in getting these ideas or their technology get patented?
Yes, we do.
Okay, you do that. So that's a complete support that TaxKriya provides to the startup, from idea to the funding stage or scaling up level, all levels.
Definitely.
Okay. So, any other input you want to give to the younger generation or to those who are, more interested in, starting their own ventures?
Definitely, I would like to pass on some more information. I would like to say,
Okay.
Okay. So, the kind of idea that they wanted to do, mostly when the early stage startup owners, what they think is, there are some sort of myth that is being, that is getting carried away on their minds. Like the way they Google it, or the kind of the Instagram pages that they do follow. There are some sort of misconception that I would like to clarify with them.
Yeah.
Okay. Normally, they feel like you need to be more formally trained and educated and professionally equipped to start a business. So that is being told everywhere and to everyone, most of the times. But to be very honest, it is actually not required. It is okay to be a kind of a mediocre or an average person, but the main point is they have to be very consistent on whatever idea they try to build in. They have to be very consistent. It's okay to be an average person, or any kind of person with the right mindset. They will definitely able to take an action, because planning everything and the course of the main plan, a plan of action and everything is fine, but only when you are able to take an action, that is where the results come. Even though like that I think there would be a saying where you have to sharpen your kind of an axe multiple times before chopping a tree. That is okay, that is really okay, but the result will not come, that the tree will not fall until you try to get it done. You have to push it, you have to take a decision. So
yes, that is a very common misconception people they carry about startup ventures, that they feel that they have to be very highly professional and expert, who know each and everything of this model, and they need to be very, very smart, and a kind of formal training or structure is required. But yes, this is a very good thing which you are mentioning, that anybody can, with a zeal, with a passion, and with the knowledge to execute. Definitely can.
Also, most importantly, it is nothing like you have to know it all, you have to do it all. Nothing that way in startup.
Okay.
So of course, the basic idea and the business model, everything you have to bring in. But after a certain point of time, you should be having a skill to delegate, to get things done from the people. When it is moving on to the next stage, it is not like you have to do on your own everything. If you have been doing it on your own, then definitely development will not occur very quickly. It will take more time. Being a proprietor, when you try to do everything, when you try to manage your finance, when you try to put your accounts, when you try to file your returns, when you try to file your GST and other thing, also the business validation, the market research and other, it doesn't work. Like, you have to have a support. You have to reach out to people. There are people who wants to work simultaneously with the parallel mindset of the founders without even being getting a return. So we have to reach out to more number of people with the right mindset. The most importantly, I would say the co-founders. Yeah, it is really, it is very, co-founders and team is a very important success part of any kind of business, because it is just like a relationship or a marriage, I would say. Only if you have a right people, you can take the particular decision in a very uniformed way, and whatever happens with the decision, they have to abide by. And it's like, you have to make mistakes. It is not like no one can get succeeded without making any mistake. You have to make mistake. You have to consider where exactly the problem is, and and people are people do often also think that startup is only for young people. It's actually not that way. Only 20 or 30s will start the startup. Nothing that way. Even on a statistical survey, around 40 to 50 age group,
okay,
they have more success when compared to people who are in 30s.
Right. Because they have experience, they have maturity.
In various ways.
Yeah.
They would have started a business 10 years before. They would have closed down. With that particular experience and their insight, they'll be able to move on to a better way, and they're still able to make a success.
Especially these people, they can calculate risk. Okay. So, Gautam, you are based out in Chennai, right?
Yes.
So, how do you provide support to the people in other regions?
So we have our repositories working for us throughout India.
Okay.
So, like even we have our offices in Bangalore.
Oh.
Yeah. And through our entire team, like we have our entire team support throughout India. And nowadays everything is now everyone is working on offline. They are okay. They are very comfortable in working on a virtual mode. We are able to do our best services on a virtual mode. But wherever there is a kind of physical presence required, we do reach out to them through our
Right. So, if the young people or anybody who want to reach out to you, they can come for your mentorship support and all these services.
Definitely.
Okay, that would be nice. So, thank you so much, Gautam, for giving the valuable, input, and you have given more clarity on various aspects of startup. There were some misconceptions, and there could be still more misconceptions. And to this, discussion, I would request the audience so that if they have some doubt, they still want to know more about the startup venture, how it works out. Some, questions are still not asked Gautam, so they can approach directly to Gautam. They can reach out to him and, take his support. Thank you so much, Gautam.
Thank you so much. And it was really a great opportunity to get involved in this session with you personally and also the entire team. It was a great support in, because most importantly, I would say the kind of conversation flow that you are able to bring in, that really drives a very good conversation, I would say. Because I was able to, I didn't feel any kind of trouble or difficulty in taking the conversation next stage, because since you have a greater experience on supporting all the business, even when we had a conversation. So it was really nice to have a very good chat. I think the first minutes went like a speed, lightning speed. So right, like I would be expecting more kind of opportunities and more kind of conversations with you moving forward. So thank you. Thanks for the opportunity once again.
Thank you, Gautam.